bunch of the boys were whooping it up at the Malamute Saloon. The kid that handled the music box was playing a ragtime tune. And back at the bar in a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew. And watching his luck was his light of love, the lady that's known as Lou. When out of the cold, which was 50 below, and into the din and the glare, there stumbled a miner, fresh from the creeks, dogged, dirty, and loaded for bear. He looked like a man with a foot in the grave, and he had the strength of a louse, but he tumbled a poke of dust in the bar, and he called for drinks for the house. There was none could place the stranger's face, though we searched our minds for a clue, but we drank to his health. And the last to drink was dangerous Dan McGrew. There's some men who can cure eyes and hold him in a spell, and such was he, and he looked to me like a man who'd lived in hell. With a face most hair and the dreary stare of a dog whose day is done, he watered the green stuff in the glass, and the drops fell one by one. As I was wondering who he was and what he planned to do, I turned around, and staring at him was the lady that's known as Lou. His eyes, they rubbered around the room. He seemed in a kind of daze, till at last that old piano fell in the way of his wandering gaze. The ragtime kid was having a drink. There was no one at the stool, so the stranger up and tumbles across, and he plops down there like a fool. In a buckskin shirt all glazed with dirt, he sat, and I saw him sway. He clutched the keys in taloned hands. My God, how that man could play. Were you ever off in the great alone when the moon was awful clear? The icy mountains ring you round with a silence you both could hear. With only the howl of a timber wolf, you sat out there in the cold, a stark dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad for the muck called gold. While high o'erhead, green, yellow, and red, the northern lights swayed in their bars. And you know that the sound that music made, hunger and night and stars. Oh, the hunger not of a belly kind that's banished with bacon and beans, but the anguished hunger of lonely men for a home and all that it means. For a fireside far from the cares that are, 4 walls and a roof above, and oh, so crammed full of cozy joy and crowned with a woman's love. A woman dearer than all the world, truer than heaven is true. My God, how ghastly she looks in her rouge, lady that's known as Lou. The music almost died away, then it burst with a pent-up flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, and my eyes went blind with blood. The thought came back of an ancient wrong, and it stung like a frozen lash. The urging came to kill, and the music stopped with a crash. The stranger turned, and his eyes, they burned a most peculiar way. In that buckskin shirt all glazed with dirt, and he sat, and I saw him sway. And he said, boys, said he, you don't know me, and none of you give a damn. But I want to state, and my words are straight, and I'll bet my poke they're true, that one of you is a hound of hell, and that man is Dan McGrew. And I ducked my head, and the lights went out, and 2 shots rang out in the dark. The woman screamed, and the lights went up, and 2 men lay stiff and stark. Pitched on his head and full of lead was dangerous Dan McGrew, while the man from the creeks lay clutched to the breast of the lady that's known as Lou. Now, these are the simple facts of the case, and I guess I ought to know. Some say the stranger was crazed with hooch, and I'm not denying it so. I'm not so wise as those lawyer guys, but just between us two, the woman that kissed him pinched his poke. The lady that's known as Lou.